Hello and welcome back to another Wargame Red Dragon video with me and with Silveraptor as we continue our Bubble and Silver Do deck series. Hi Silver.
Hi Bubble.
So today we're going to be continuing by doing the Russian decks, and because there are so many really decent Russian units in this game, we've done 2 decks each, and the first deck is going to be a kind of generalized do everything kind of deck for the Russians. What do you think about that, Silver?
I think it's an excellent idea, and I also want to say thank God we're finally doing Red 4.
Yeah, and Russia still probably the strongest single nation in the Red Force, certainly, even in the game possibly.
Well, yeah, definitely, because they were the major arms supplier during the Cold War era, so it makes sense that they have all the good weapons.
Okay, so shall we start?
Yep.
Okay, let's head off into the logistics. What have you got for your logistics for your general deck, Silver?
Alright, well, standard operating procedure is to pick the fob, so we'll set that aside.
Yeah, I'll put that as well.
First thing I got is the T80 UK.
Okay, no generalized deck. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Reason?
A reason is that generalized decks. This is my diverse deck of where I would like to have a larger presence across the map. So I was thinking having a T80 UK would be good as maybe a frontline CV in case they start pushing. It'll be able to help contribute to fighting and all that stuff. And I'm hoping that through optics and other tanks and stuff that they won't know immediately that it's the CV if it does happen to have to start firing until they get a lot closer, in which case it would have wiped out a few things already. But
okay, well I'll talk about that in the second deck that I've built. So I've kind of got the opposite reasoning, but okay, that's fine. Have you got any other commands?
Yes, I do. I've got, which I think is probably the best CV, the BMD2K.
Okay, where's that? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've got that as well. Yeah.
And the reason why is, apart from having great, well, not great autonomy, but good speed, amphibious and everything, is its autocannon. It can basically shoot down helicopters out of the sky, which is it's most CV's major hurdle. Yeah,
that's why I've got it as well. If it gets caught out in any way by sort of a flank attack or someone getting around the back with some units, it can. This is one of the very few commands, apart from some of the tank commands, that are able to defend themselves pretty decently.
Especially against helicopters. I think one of these, a Cobra, managed to get behind my lines, but this thing managed to shoot it down without taking a single hit from it.
Yeah, especially if it's hidden in trees and stuff. Have you got any other commands?
No, just those 2.
Well, I've got one more. I've got some infantry, just some basic infantry, the Commandoni, whatever that says, in MI8Ts. And this is kind of a secondary one. I'd bring out the BMD2s first, and I'll bring out this again as a generalized deck if I need to try and flank or get over to a region that's a long way from the spawn point, for example. That's why I've got that.
Okay.
For my other logistics, apart from the FOB, which I do have, I've got a set of MI6s and some trucks, the MTP LBs, which are amphibious.
Yeah. The helicopter I got, because I just wanted to have lots of supply, is the Mi-26.
Yeah, these massive things. Yeah, I used to
very big.
Yeah, they're very easy to see, but you do have to keep them back behind your lines, because if enemies see these and they're a decent player, they're going to tend to take these out straight away.
Yeah, but these could be mini fobs, and but because they're mini fobs, they can give lots of supply. I went with the Euro 4320 because it has a bunch of extra. It can store a bunch of supply in it as well. So, yeah. Yeah,
cool. So different than me, but just as good reasons, I guess.
Yeah,
so shall we move on? Yeah.
I think like 1 or 2 Euros actually managed to fully repair my nearly killed T80 UK by themselves without running out of supply.
Yeah, that is the problem with those little trucks that I've got. They run out of supply so quick with just 500 litres. The reason I get them is for flexibility, really, more than anything else.
Yeah, to get across the river, that's definitely a very advantage thing. But the thing is, I could just repair an entire tank with just 1 of mine, and how many of you do you need that?
I need 4 of mine, yeah, I agree, yeah.
Alright.
So let's move on to the infantry. What have you got for your infantry in your general deck?
I've got specialized, which is for very elite situations, and then I've just got general infantry to throw the enemy at them. For the generalized infantry, I've just got Mortis-Strelki and MT LBVs.
Mortis-Strelki Pakotas, yeah?
No, just a Mortis-Strelki.
Mortis-Strelkis. Oh, the Motor-Strelkis. Ah, okay. What have you got them in, sorry?
MT LBVs, the cheap 5-point truck of death.
Ah, okay, yeah.
I got 22 of those, so I could just saturate the map with them, hold positions while I use the specialized for like assaulting the position or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. For my main kind of rifle infantry, I've got the Morskaya Pakotas in Trucks of Death, the cheapest one at 5 points. And I got these as my kind of spam infantry, rather like you've got the Motor-Strelkis. They're a little bit more expensive, but you get them in 15 squads, so they're a little bit more resistant to getting killed.
Yeah, I did that too, but I decided to experiment a bit with the regular Motor-Strelki as the main like infantry. But I do actually have Morkaza Pakotas, Pakota 90s.
As well, okay, cool.
Yeah, I've got one squad of them. They're in BTR 90s, and these are meant to just sort of back up, like assaulting the position. The fact that there's just a couple of these with the Mortis-Strelki should be able to take a village, especially with say APC with autocannon and frag grenades behind them. Hey, look, there's my frags again.
Yes, those frags. Yeah, we did get a couple of comments on you about the frags in the last video. Yeah,
yeah, I saw. I do also have a bit of a 1-2 punch kind of thing where I have troops on the ground but also troops in the air, which I start off with to try to get a foothold. And first off, I've got Gorna-Strelki 90s and MI-8 MTVs.
Okay.
I picked these because they're not quite anti-tank wide as squads, but they could fire against regular infantry as well, and good holding down the position, but they still have incredible AP power on that anti-tank guided missile.
Yeah, if they get in range, they've got a really good. It's kind of similar to the Erics of the Blue Force side, isn't it?
I think it's a little longer than the Erics.
Yeah, I mean the unit itself, what it's used for and stuff. But yeah, it's a decent unit. That you've got it in choppers.
I got in choppers with the big rocket pods because if infantry get close, I need to suppress and damage infantry as much because they can't really brawl with infantry, but they're good at holding the position while my ground force arrives.
Yep, cool. And what else?
And finally, I've actually been recently experimenting with this.
Spetsnaz?
Spetsnaz, yes, because they're a must. But I've decided with this is to actually not have Spetsnaz as my frontline unit, but more of a very specialized role. And to do that, I decided to get them in the most expensive transport, the Mi-24D.
Yeah, risky.
Yes, this is total of 90 points, and the Mi-24D, if you look at the stats, is pretty crap, as you could probably say. However, I've been experimenting and found out that at Elite and Veteran, well, mostly Elite, is this actually stat with all the accuracy and veterancy increase makes it actually worthwhile. If you think about it, you have a 55-point helicopter, and they'll be able to fire those missiles instead of at 35% accuracy. They'll be firing them at like 65 to 70% accuracy at column at max range.
Right, so maybe 3 of them will hit out of the 4 then, so that's pretty decent.
Yeah, for a 55-point attack helicopter and able to bring in Spetsnaz, that's actually a very good complement since Spetsnaz can't take out vehicles very well. This Mi-24D should be able to help out a bit.
Yeah, cool. Good reasoning. Apart from you won't be able to shoot down AA, but that's about the only thing you won't be able to shoot down.
Yeah, I just need to cover that. I just would like to give a word of caution. Don't be bringing these in willy-nilly. You need to really think about bringing in these Spetsnaz. And also, they're at Veteran, so I can get a few more of them because I don't think 4 at Elite is that's just a little too few. And they're barely qualified to be bringing in this kind of a helicopter with that veterancy. Anything that hardened, trained, or even rookie, don't even bother. You will not hit anything with that helicopter. And
Yeah, I think the main thing is, get them in veteran or even elite, but probably veteran, so you've got enough. And be cautious. These things take quite a long time to land as well. These big choppers, split them down into single choppers before you land them, because otherwise they take even longer. And drop them early if you have to, because then the Spetsnaz are really fast across the ground, 30 Ks.
Yeah.
So they can move pretty quickly into the building.
That's what I was thinking. But if you get anything at the trained or hardened difficulty, then they're just big, expensive flying paperweights.
Yeah, cool. Okay, excellent. We'll see if that works in game.
Yep, and finally I have Igla ends in Skrzets for anti-air.
Igla ends. Okay, cool. Yeah.
And I got them in the Skrzets so that I can kind of diversify, having split up my AA as well. Just drop off the Iglas in one area, move the Skrzets to another area, and then have a wider AA covered field.
Okay, cool. Well, I've got the Iglas as well, the Igla ends, but I've got mine in MI8s. Bring them in pairs and just fly them wherever I need them. I've also got 2 Conquer M's in MI8Ts as well. Again, same reason, bring them in pairs, fly them around the map wherever I need them, perhaps early on in the game, plonk them in a building somewhere. Nice anti-tank weapons. And then after that, I've got Spetsnaz as well. But I've got 2 sets of Spetsnaz. One set I've got in BTRs as my general kind of anti-infantry squads.
BTR what?
BTRDs. It's 5 points. Really cheap. I know they're really cheap, but yeah.
Actually, those BTRDs are very, very good 5-point infantry, because if you look at the rate of fire of that machine gun of the BTRD,
yeah, pretty fast.
That's because if you look up top, it's a quad PKT. That means it has 4 machine guns just pointed in a direction. They're all firing at once, so it's just like a huge barrage of bullets and very good suppression and rate of fire.
Yeah, the actual model on screen doesn't show that very well.
I know. It's just so weird. It doesn't look like it has any guns, but yet it sounds like it's letting off a minigun that's just firing 4 machine guns at once.
Yeah, they've also got a bit of armour, those things, as well. They're probably better than any other 5-point armoured vehicle.
By far. If you want 5-point trucks, you want to bring it in these if you have the chance.
Yeah, so I've got a set of Spetsnaz in those. And I've got another set of Spetsnaz. Guess what I've got them in? You can have
Skrzets?
MI-24Ds. Copied you a bit there, maybe.
Are they elite?
No, they're veteran.
Mm.
I'm going to vet them up in the game, hopefully. So yeah, they're only veteran though, so we'll see the difference between your elite ones and my veteran ones. We'll see if there's much
Well,
difference.
no, I brought mine in veteran as well.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. But yeah, so we'll see. They're not my frontline ones though. The Spetsnaz will come in the BTRDs. Well, it depends. Depends what sort of situation we get in. So that's mine. 2 Spetsnaz.
I would have thought you brought them in Skrzets.
No, I haven't. No, I've got plenty of AA, really.
Okay.
I wanted quite a lot of choppers as well, so I've got the Conkers and the Iglas in choppers. I'll tell you why shortly. And then I've got my Morskaya 15 unit squads for my main infantry in buildings. Yeah, that's about it for my infantry.
Okay.
Let's move on to the support then.
Finally.
I'll go first this time. I've actually gone, I know some people hate this, but I've gone fairly artillery heavy for this deck. Because it's my general deck, I want to be able to support people on big maps and stuff.
Well, you'll have to have a lot of supply in FOB.
Well, I've got a FOB, remember, I've got a FOB this time.
Yep.
And I've got a fair amount. I've got enough supply for a good 30, maybe even a 40-minute game, I think. And then I can steal some of yours as well. So I've got Smershes. Everyone knows what the Smersh does. Don't really need to talk about that too much.
Yeah, it just barrages an area. I actually don't have a little underwhelmed with the Smerch a bit. It certainly displaces and can kill some heavy stuff, but more times than not, I find that it doesn't. So that's just me personally. A lot of people take the Smerch, and it does do its job for what it's intended. So it's just my preference. I don't generally like Smerches myself.
Yeah, I'll tell you what they are really useful for, and it won't be so much in the games we're going to play for these 2 decks, but they're good at attacking ship blobs.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Really, really good.
At least until the ships move out of the way.
Yeah. So I've got those, and I've got some two 519 Misters S's. I've got 2 of those, or 2 in one pack. I've got those because over the other types of kind of tube artillery or howitzer type artillery, because they've got 49 rounds already, and I've only got 1 fob, so I want to be a little bit careful. So they've got 49 rounds already. The dispersion's reasonable. Everything else is pretty reasonable. Even, you know, so just a standard artillery piece for helping
I actually
out.
haven't used this artillery, and I've used a lot of the artillery in the game, but I would guess that it shoots 3 rounds, but that's something you want to figure out how many rounds it fires before it's done, and you can move it so you can fire and shoot on the move quickly and efficiently.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. I think this fires fairly fast. It's got a rate of 5 per minute as well, which is pretty fast for a howitzer type artillery piece, I think.
You just want to see how many rounds it fires before it's done.
Sure, otherwise I'm just going to have to move it before it's finished firing. But we'll have to see how that one goes. And I've also got Buratinos as well.
Buratinos are a must.
So I've got Smershes and Misters and Buratinos. That's a lot of artillery.
Yeah, Buratinos are definitely a must. Everyone has Buratinos. They're just basically coat an entire area in napalm and then see what is not burnt and crispy.
Yeah. So, and then I've got my AA.
Mm-hmm.
Two lots of AA. I've got the standard Tunguskas, the more expensive ones, the 100-point ones, of course.
I did too.
Yeah, great against helis.
And the reason why I got the more expensive one is because I'm getting Tunguskas because they have their infrared missiles to turn off the gun. And if you look between the 85 and 100-point one, the 100-point has better missiles than the 85-point ones, and that's really what I'm just getting it for anyway. So might as well get the more expensive one.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I've got some Strellas, the expensive ones again, the 50-pointers.
Me too.
12 missiles, so a lot of missiles for your buck on these. If you can keep them alive, because they're not that well armoured, they're going to do you well for a good 3 or 4 like attacks from the enemy.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I've got Tunguskas and Strellas as well. But for my AA, I want something a little more dedicated to taking out aircraft, so I got some Buck M1s.
Yeah, I was tinkering about getting those instead of the Strellas, but I went against it because I've got some nice aircraft for my AA. So,
yeah, I like the Buck because it has 4 missiles, unlike the NATO, the Blue Forsyth, which has pretty often only 3 of these rockets on those trucks.
Yeah, and I like them. I've been using them quite a lot lately, although I've been losing them as well, either through lack of ability to micro them enough, or I don't know, or I just forget to move them and then suddenly they're all blown up, you know, because if an enemy knows you've got bucks sitting there, they do target them quite heavily.
Yeah. And finally, I do have one artillery piece, but it's not the one that you might be thinking of.
Yeah.
I actually got 2 S7M Malkas.
Okay, snipers. I call these sniper artillery.
Mm-hmm. And the reason why is normally these type of artillery only have 2 rounds they fire, but this one has 8.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So I don't have to keep this tethered to the fob. I can put it out, fire a couple rounds and move it, fire a couple rounds, move it, fire a couple rounds, and then go back to the fob, and not just keep it right next to the fob if I want to do anything.
Yeah, these are really good for if you've got good recon and you can spot AA pieces or even big tanks as well.
Or CVs.
Or CVs, yeah, if they're not too hidden. Then these are great for sniping those, yeah, for sure.
Yep. And of course I got Buratino.
Cool. On to the tanks.
Yep.
Now, I've not gone over the top on the tanks this time. I've kind of got a couple of high point ones and a medium point. My high point ones, I've got the T-72BU.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
2 of them at trained.
For that front armor is really good.
Yeah, the front armor is amazing. And then I've got T-80Us, 3 at trained again. Nice tanks. And then I've got for my medium tank, or well, not that medium, they're still 95 points, the T-72Bs. Mainly, not amazing armor, but mainly for their anti-tank guided missile.
Oh, the T-72B is one of the best medium tanks on the Soviet side, I think, with all that it comes with.
Yeah, I mean, I have found they do get taken out fairly easily if they've used all their ATGMs out and they get into sort of range of enemy tanks. They get taken out quite easily despite reasonably good front armor. So you've got to keep them a bit protected, I think, on the flanks and stuff.
Yep. For this one, I do have to get the T-72BU with its amazing front armor to send out first and kind of lure any of the enemy anti-tank guided missiles and other tanks to fire at it, because it's backed up by T-80As right behind it.
Oh, you got the old T-80As. Nice. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Because they can fire their missiles on the move, they have a longer range of those missiles, and they've got pretty good gun as well as armor. A little, just only slightly better armor than the T-72B, but it's generally better than the T-72B, and I'd rather have the T-80As backing up my T-72BUs than the T-72B.
And the 2,800 meter range on their missiles is pretty decent for a 110-point tank. Yeah.
And then to supplement that, I decided to get a tank that didn't have an anti-tank guided missile, and that's the T-62M1.
Oh, the M1 50-pointer. Okay.
Yeah, 50-pointer. I like to have longer range with my tank shells.
Anything else on the tank front?
Nope, that's it.
Cool. That's all I've got. I only got 3 in this deck, but again, this is my all-round deck, so it's fairly flexible. Recon then. Now, I've gone a bit unusual and kind of cheapskatey on the recon. Still decent, but I haven't got anything with weapons really, apart from a couple. I've got the MI2s, 40-pointers. Strength is poor. If they get hit, they're down. But you do get quite a lot of them. They don't tend to get targeted too much by aircraft because they're so cheap and they don't want to lose their aircraft against them. But they've got very good optics. They're just a bit slow and they've got not good strength, but they're only 40 points, so what do you expect, I guess? Have you got any helicopter recon?
Yeah, I got the big one, the KA-52, the big bad one.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
This is such a good helicopter. Not only can it shoot down other enemy helicopters and recon helicopters, but also it's got 2 seed missiles to take out radar. Yeah. This is the bane of all Patriot missile systems.
Yeah, it's a beautiful chopper, beautiful looking chopper. It's got fantastic weapons. It's really, really nice. I haven't got it this time. I might have it in my next deck though, but I haven't got it in this one because I wanted to go a bit cheaper for my recon and bring out my bigger units. And these things get targeted as soon as they get seen by artillery, mortars, whatever the enemy's got to throw at them.
Yeah, you just got to keep moving these frequently, or not keep it at the front line recon until you actually know that there's seed or radar AA in the area.
Yeah. Now for I've got a wheeled one as well. I've got the UAZ 469, very cheap again, 25 points, 7 of them, no weapons but very good optics, very fast, just for looking at the enemy and not engaging clearly.
Yeah, I would have thought you would have gotten the Plamia because of its it has frag grenades on top of it.
Yeah, I didn't want it with weapons. I'll let my tanks do the shooting with jeeps. I mean, it's only got a strength of 5. It's only got to look at the enemy and it's going to die.
There's me with my frag grenades again.
Yeah. Have you got that one then?
No.
No.
Not in this deck.
Have you got any wheeled or tracked recon?
No, I don't.
Okay, so what have you got for your infantry recon then?
Well, first, I've got my infiltrators who are going to go behind enemy lines, the Spetsnaz VMF in KA-29 TBs.
Okay, 29 TBs with the rocket pods, 40 pointers. Yeah, I've got it. Yeah.
Yep. Get these cheap. These they're very quick. Move them in, get them down and then out, and the rocket pods are good to just saturate an area. So I like the KA-29 TB. They're also a very interesting look with the double propeller system.
Yeah, they look okay. I don't know, they are big, so they're going to get spotted, and they wouldn't want you to lose your little sniper squad before they landed. But yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And then next I've got Spetsnaz GRUs in the Elite. I got the Elite pack of these in Mi-24Ds again.
Oh, I see. Yeah, really nice recon. Well, really nice infantry units in their own right. Really, the Spetsnaz GRUs got some nice RPGs there, whatever you would call them. Yeah, RPGs, 20 points.
RPG 26. Yeah, and they've got a sniper rifle as well.
Yeah, very, very nice. I've got them as well in Mi-24Ds.
Yep,
That's
I've
bad.
already tested it out. Once I let off a Spetsnaz grew, and they actually encountered a lot of infantry in a forest that I was trying to sneak behind, and they would have died on their own right, except that my Mi-24D was close enough. I managed to bring it in and clear out the infantry with no problems, and this grew managed to survive and push on.
Yeah, I've actually got mine in veterans. Maybe I should have bought elite after what you've been telling me, but I'll stick to the veteran ones for now.
Right. Just don't forget that elite makes them also spot things easier.
Yeah, I know, but well, I've done it now. I've got to go with what
I
I've
also
got.
do have another stack of
All
Spetsnaz GRU, this time in BTR 90s. Again, these will be sort of like fighting with my ground troops.
Oh, okay, excellent. Yeah, yeah, cool. Right then, on to the vehicles. Have you got any vehicles?
Yep, I think we have what everyone should have if they want to clear out infantry, the BMPT.
Yeah, I've got the BMPT as well. Everyone knows about this as well. The best infantry killer in the game.
Yeah, but people should also be aware that its main gun does not actually have any armor penetration power, so it's meant for infantry exclusively. Don't try to throw this against tanks. It's not going to work.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Have you got any other vehicles?
Yep. Long range, I got the Sturm because you know how deadly these things are.
Yeah, they are very deadly for 50 points with that long 2,800 meter range and decent AP power. Really nice weapons.
Yep.
Anything else?
Yeah, I've also got some Afghansky.
Okay, got the Afghanskis as well. A little bit of extra AA, good for stunning pretty much anything. Even they'll even stun. I've had one of these sit and stun a really big tank like an Abrams, and it just sits there and stunned it and stunned it and stunned it. Then it ran out of ammo and got shot.
And then it died.
Yeah, but it just sat there and with the bullets bouncing off the shell of the tank and just kept stunning it all the time. And then it died. Well, shame. But yeah, these are decent. These are decent. Really good for stunning stuff as well.
And good for killing infantry as well. And they're cheap for only 20 points.
They are very, very cheap, and you get a lot of them.
And then finally, I have one more. I've got the SU-12254.
Where's that? SU-12254? Oh.
I'll let you find that.
Funny looking thing this is.
Yeah, and it looks like one of the old, it looks like the ASU, which is at the very top of the page if you want to compare it. The ASU used to be a World War II mobile gun that they just, the Soviets are very good at recycling all of their things.
I see, yeah.
Yeah, but the reason why I got the SU is if you look, this one has an HE power of 5 and a heavy machine gun on top.
Oh, an HE power of 5. I've never spotted that before. That's pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, this thing is a major infantry town clear, and especially with its heavy machine gun that has an HE power of 1 on its own, it's a very deadly infantry killer as well, next to the BMPT.
Yeah, it's kind
cheaper than the BMPT.
It's kind of less of a tank and more of a heavy armoured personnel carrier, I'd say, with a massive gun stock on top.
Yeah, but it can't carry infantry, and it's not a tank because it's a mobile gun, because tanks have a rotating turret independent of its body.
Yes, indeed. Nice. So you got 4.
Yep.
4 vehicles.
4 vehicles.
Wow, I've only got 1. You haven't
just
got
the
another one, have you?
Oh, you got the BMPT, right?
Just the BMPT. Yeah.
Nope, that's just the 4.
On to the helis. Do you want to go first?
Yeah. You go first. I went last time.
First, my main attack helicopter is, of course, the Mi-28.
Yes.
Really nice, because I really like this because it fires on the move and it fires really fast as well.
Yep. I actually don't have it for this deck, and I'll tell my reasons why, but I can't... This is a very good helicopter to have.
Yeah, it is expensive, but it is a beautiful chopper to have in your deck, especially if they're tank rushing you or something.
Yeah, it's called the Super Hind for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Then I've got
go ahead.
Mi-24Vs as my main sort of anti-air chopper. Yeah,
with those Igla missiles.
Yeah, really effective, really potent weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got 2 spam choppers. I've got Mi-4As. Oh yeah, look at these beasts. I've got 13 of these to bring out.
This is the equivalent of Russia just stacking rocket pods and say, it's enough, it'll do its job.
Yeah, it looks like an egg with loads of rocket pods stuck underneath it.
It does. And a little guy at the bottom just like, Oh, and let's like all those rockets flying past him, and the guy in that window down below at the very bottom with that little machine gun sticking out.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that feels like in that cockpit when they all shoot off, but yeah. And then I've also got Mi-4AVs. I've got 11 of those. So
with terrible, terrible Malyuka missiles.
I've got the works here. I've got them all. And the reason I get these is this is for a spam at the end of a game if you want to finish someone off by just flying these over. Not for any other reason. Again, this is a flexible deck and I can just use these around the map somewhere if and when they're needed in an emergency or at the end of a game.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So that's my reasons. Have you got anything different?
Well, I did get the Mi-24V like you, but I actually got the Ka-50 Akula.
Ah, yeah, nice aircraft. Very expensive, but very nice.
Very expensive, yes, but the anti-tank guided missiles are farther range than the Mi-28. If you take a look at nearly 3 kilometers, and also they could shoot down other helicopters. But I also got the Mi-24 VP as well. As more of a cheaper helicopter.
I like it. Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice chopper. Yeah.
The reason why I got the Mi-24 VP than the Mi-24P, it's the Mi-24P only has 4 anti-tank missiles, whereas the Mi-24 VP has 8.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. Interesting. Yeah, 20 points more, 4 more missiles. I guess that's worth it, I suppose.
With a little more AP power on those missiles too.
Yeah. Very nice. Okay, cool.
And that's it.
That's it. And on to the aircraft.
Finally, the aircraft.
Pretty well stacked with aircraft. The first thing I went for is a couple of MiG-31s because my anti-air is a little bit light. So I got these interceptors with their massive long range of, well, 10 kilometres. So you can bring these in. They can fire a couple of rockets off at the enemy before the enemy even know that they're there, kind of thing. Yeah, so I got those. It's my anti-air missile planes. Have you got any air superiority fighters?
I did. I have tried these interceptors before, but I found them underwhelming. I would never shoot down anything with these interceptor aircraft. The missiles would always miss, and eventually I just got fed up with it. So I went with the good old-fashioned Su-27S with air superiority fighters.
Okay. Yeah, they're nice. 150 points. Oh, the S, the normal ones, yeah, not the P.
The normal S, so I could get a stack of 2 of them.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they have a 7,700 meter range with their long range missile, so they could fire before the most other enemy aircraft can fire back.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the accuracy of the MiG-31, these obviously do seem a lot better. But I'll stick with my MiG-31 interceptors and see if I can do some damage with them. At least I'll scare them away, maybe.
Yeah.
Even if I don't hit anything.
And another one I brought in for a little bit of air superiority, but also it's a multi-role fighter, the MiG-29M.
Okay, let's have a look at that. The MiG-29M. Is that the... Let's have a look.
It's somewhere in the middle.
Oh, there we are. 145 points. Another nice looking aircraft. Yeah.
Yep. It's got 4 fire and forget long-range missiles, and it's got cluster bombers as well for taking out tanks or forests. One thing I would like to say to viewers that I've found through experience is that if you have a multi-role fighter going in for a bombing run and then you see the enemy bring an air superiority fighter to intercept it, there's 2 options they could do. They could go with the bombing run and probably 9 out of 10 lose the fighter, or they can shift from their bombing objective and engage the fighter. And I would actually recommend engaging the air superiority fighter with a multi-role rather than going through with the bombing run, because you might be able to take it down and continue with the bombing mission if you're lucky, because you're going to lose the aircraft anyway if they bring out the air superiority fighter.
Yeah, sure, that's one option. I mean, also with these you can have them kind of flying around as air superiority fighters over your area already out, kind of thing, and then use their bombs if necessary, because they've got such long range aircraft missiles. Yeah, for 145 points.
Yeah,
quite a nice aircraft.
I actually, while bringing this in for a bombing mission, like I said, I shot down a Eurocorps fighter while I was trying to bring it in for a bomber run with those missiles. So.
Cool. What else have you got?
Finally, the SU-24M.
Okay, where's that? SU-24M, right down here. Ah, okay, here we are. Yep.
Because it's got 30 250 kilogram bombs, that
Yeah.
means an entire area is just destroyed. I've seen heavy tanks taken out with those light bombs.
Yeah, they can saturate like forests and like buildings and stuff like that. I thought about getting these, but I went for a big bomber instead in the end. But yeah, these are really, really nice. The only reason I got the, I actually got the IL-102 instead. But I could have just as easily have got that one. But yeah, I went for the IL-102 anyway. Strength of 10. It's got some armor. I wouldn't bring it in over anywhere where I thought there was AA, because you're going to basically lose it, and it is very vulnerable to other anti-air like PU. To enemy sort of air fighters and stuff like that as well. So, but it's an awesome weapon, I think, the IL-102.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got two other planes. First one is the MiG-25BM. I've bought a seed in this time. Hasn't got anything to defend itself with apart from just its seed missile, so you have to be a little bit careful again against enemy air fighters. But
it does have an ECM of 50%.
But it does, yeah, so it can take a hit, maybe two. And then I've got MiG-25BMs as my my tank. Sorry, MiG-27Ks rather as my anti-tank weapon. 30 AP power, 2 missiles, 50% accuracy. If one hits, it should blow up the tank.
Should.
30% ECM. I know you don't like anti-tank aircraft.
They're very situational for me. If I don't like anything else, I'll take an anti-tank aircraft.
Yeah, I got one in this
Usually,
deck anyway. Again, because it's my general deck, so I want to be able to help out where I can around the map. So I've got a seed aircraft, I've got an anti-tank aircraft, got a MiG-31, I've got a bomber.
Right.
So,
for me, I like to have leave the helicopters to take out aircraft to take out tanks rather than aircraft take out tanks.
Yeah. Let's do the favorite unit. Or
all right.
What you think's your best unit or your favourite unit in this deck? Doesn't have to be the best one. Can be the best value for money, of course.
Well, I'm going to pick the one that you didn't pick because you, for some reason, overlooked this. Is the KA-52.
Yeah. Okay. I thought you might go for that one. Yeah. Really, really nice. Now, what shall I go for? I'm not totally sure, you know. But I'm going to go for the T-80U, the 155-point tank. It's not over expensive, but it's a really solid tank, and if I come up against other tanks, sometimes I'll bring these in ahead of my T-72BUs because they're a bit cheaper, but they're almost just as effective as a BU, and you get 3 of them instead of 2. So I really like the T-80U for the Russian decks, so I'm going to have that as my favourite unit in this deck.
All right, sounds good.
So thanks very much, Silver. We've got one more Russian deck to go, which is going to be a more specialised job before we play a couple of games. So thanks for watching. Thanks to you, Silveraptor, for taking part in the video. And we'll see you in the next one.